Me again. I guess I'm on a roll here with videos. So I want to do at some point. I want to do this. I'm not sure I'm going to put this in the mix, but I think it's important. I want to share this. I'm sharing everything, so I might as well share this too. And it's really about. I want to talk about Jesus because Jesus and organized religion and Christianity. I was ordained as a Christian minister in Unity School of Christianity in 1983. I've pastored 5 churches. Uh, I read all up and down and through the Bible. I've done. I mean, in my own way, been a very liberal form of Christianity versus say something like very conservative, but still, I've had, I see the things about Christianity and about Jesus that I want to bring to light for me. I'm going to bring these to light for me. Whatever you believe about Jesus, or whatever you believe about the church, that's okay. I'm not going to try and tell you in any way that it's right or wrong, but I am going to tell you what's right or wrong for me, like more about appropriate and not appropriate. Um, Jesus has been a part of my life since I was a small child. I remember him as a baby, his presence. It's hard to say how I remember that, but I do. I had a sense of him in my life. My grandfather, I think, my father's father was a part of that. He was always seemed to be someone like a Jesus Christ person who would touch me and talk to me in ways that were about the spirit of Jesus, not the law or not about Jesus, but of him, of him. And in the process, I grew to love that presence, and I grew to know that presence. I still know that presence. Uh, um, I converse with Jesus in my own way. I feel his presence, just like I feel my wife's presence, even though she's passed. I feel his presence and what he brought as far as consciousness to this world. Um, so it's colored my way of thinking about Jesus. Um, I go to churches, even in churches, the denomination that I was in, and a lot of the times I just have to accept what's being said and go with the flow of the music and the beauty of the people and their voices and stay away from meaning, which is important anyways. I've said that before. Meaning really doesn't matter that much, but as human beings, we can get so caught up in meaning and I guess that's one reason why I'm doing this thing about Jesus right now, is to bring some light into possible cracks in the armor about how we look at Jesus and Christianity and the church. Um, I don't worship Jesus. I never have. Never felt the need to, and never felt him asking me to do such. I have, though, followed him a lot. I have done things, that I've been guided to looking from a rational sense of view, a lot of people would say that's crazy to live like that. But I have, because that's what I've been guided to do. And a lot of it is because it's like, what would Jesus do? One thing Jesus would always do, which is difficult when you look at a lot of the churches, is Jesus would always forgive. Always. That was his main message. Always forgive. Never not forgive. There are wordings and parables in the Bible where Jesus does not forgive. I dismiss those as trivia. I dismiss those as plagiarism from the church, or whatever you want to call it. That they're putting their own spin on things. Because if you know Jesus, you know what he speaks like, and you know what he's of. It's like anyone you know. If you knew your father and he passed away, and you looked at texts and things that he wrote, you would know what's his voice and what is not his voice. I know that too. And each of us, I think, know that, because the voice of Jesus was very pure and clear. It wasn't a personal voice in any way. It wasn't personal. It was perfect. Perfect as the light of the world, which is you. And that's another thing with church. It's a sacrilege to identify yourself with Jesus. I do. Yeah, he's my brother. And I have expectations of myself to be like him, to follow him, not to worship him. I had asked Jesus in my own way one time why so many people in Christianity worship Jesus. You know what his response to me was? Again, may not like this, but this is my experience, okay? His experience, his saying, and he doesn't speak to me like words, but what came back to me was the impression he said was saying him saying this, that when people can't follow me, they're not able to follow me, they worship me. Think about that. If you're not able to follow Jesus, to do the things that basically set you out there on an island away from the world, it looks like you're away from the world, you're not away from the world, but you're doing things that, you're forgiving people, you're forgiving situations, you're bringing light where people justify darkness and punitive things and stuff like that. If you're living like that, okay, that's following him. To follow Jesus, could mean to the cross. Do you understand that? That's why I say that aren't able. We're capable of going to the cross, but are we able to? I don't know that I'm able, but I am able to do what is asked of me to follow him, and that matters. That matters, to be consistent with that. And I find when the presence of Jesus is very friendly with me now. Get near the end of this video too, so I'll do one more video on this.